Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to see the second chapter of General English text from the second semester BA. Chapter's name is The Worm, written by Nizam Ezekiel. Nizam Ezekiel, who was from the post-independence India, was born in 1924 and passed away in 2004. He is being referred as the father of the post-independence Indian English verse. And he is the one who started the modernity in Indian English poetry. He is known for his simplicity in style and conversation. He was being acclaimed as a poet, dramatist, and as an editor, and as well as an art critic. He was being awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1983, and the India has been recognized him with the Padma Shri in 1988. The famous works of Nizam Ezekiel was the third, which came in 1959, The Unfinished Man, which came in 1960, The Exact Name, which came in 1965, The Snakeskin and Other Poems, which came in 1974, Hymns in Darkness in 1976, The Latin Tape Psalms in 1982, and The Collected Poems in 1989. Now we are going to seriously into the poem The Worm, written by Nizam Ezekiel. The poet compares the easygoing attitude of man with the desperate attitude of the creatures of nature. The poet observes a worm in the mud after the rain. The worm is crawling with astounding strength towards a drier place. The worm is moving in straight line, guided by the inner eye. The poet, being a superior living being, compares himself to it. He wonders whether he ever tried so earnestly to reach his destination, using all the devious and the absurd means like the worm. He confesses that he is blinder than the worm and incapable of being himself. The poet felt far inferior to the worm, considering its determination and the terrific effort. He crushed the worm to death to stop it from scoring victory over him by reaching his destination. The poet says that God has made the worm wiser than the poet. But at the same God will understand that in anger he has the same directness which the worm showed. Hence he acted and killed the worm. In this poem, the speaker recalls an event in which he found a worm on the ground after it had rained. The worm was moving with astounding strength. Even though worms are blind, the worm's intuition or the inner eye was helping it to move where it wants to go. The fact that the worm follows a straight trajectory causes the speaker to exclaim to God, "It moved so straight, O God!" The speaker then compares himself to the worm by noting that, in contrast to the worm, he gets wherever he is going through absurd and the devious routes. Following this, the speaker moves into a rhetorical question in which he asks where he can find a worm that is blinder than himself, who is both blind and monstrously incapable of being blind. The speaker characterizes this worm, which is paradoxically blinder than and not as blind as the speaker, as existing by itself, moving according to the instincts, and completely free. After the contempt for the worm, the speaker crushes it in an attempt to disregard the worm's victory over himself. The speaker notes that the worm is dead and mocks it, asking it where its strength has gone. He notes that God had that made the worm wiser than the speaker, will understand the speaker's decision to kill the worm as the anger of a man. The speaker comes to the conclusion that he is most like the worm through his anger. He ends the poem with a repetition of his action: I have killed the worm. Through this chapter, Nizim Ezekiel was trying to explain the ego that man feels over the nature. We know it very well that man and the nature has to go hand in hand in order to have a successful life in this earth. But sometimes we as human beings, we become so egoistic when finding that the nature is more beautiful than man. Man even tries to kill or rape the mother earth, the nature, feeling that we are inferior to this nature. Thank you. God bless you all.